Hi, this is Bobby Grubb with Grubb-Mudd Concrete Services. Today we're out in Brownsburg, Indiana, where we'll be tearing out a front porch and pouring a new back patio. Before you start a job, you should always get all your power, water, sewer, all that marked, all your utilities. Here we are setting up the back patio. We got the laser out, going to be shooting some grades. To your right will be the lowest point. Up there on the left will be your highest point, and then it goes about an inch of fall coming down this wall here, and an inch of fall coming across this way to your lowest point right there. Here we are digging out the back patio with our mini Kubota backhoe. It really does a good job. We love it. It's so precise. Absolutely love it. My dad is our operator. He does an excellent job. And as you see, he can just pull all the dirt, loose dirt back towards him. And then you can turn around and use your front bucket and skim the grass off just exactly where you need it. Here's Justin cleaning up around the edges. Of course, with any machine, you're always going to want to clean up around the edges by hand. Alright, there's the homeowner. She was kind of just checking things out. Then we had to go out front and tear out the old front porch. And this thing was really thick. It was about 14 inches right there in one spot right there in the corner, and then it also was capped. If you ever run into this, you need to go ahead and tear off the whole top layer and then come back and tear off the bottom layer. Don't try to do it all at once. You will struggle. Here's our little ramp system that we like to use right to the back of the dump trailer. That's Justin. And then back to the back patio. Here's our outside line where we're going to be forming up at, and there's our lowest point again. We're ready for stone. So I set that string because I was starting to form up where they bring in the stone. As you see, just like a skid steer, we could fill it right up, back up, and then come right in, drive all the way around. It was a long drive from there, but as long as you fill it up, it's not too many trips. Here we took out one fence post and we put it back in with Quikrete when we're done. We usually do that, not always. Here he is bringing in the fill, and Justin's finishing the grade, and then keep on bringing more and more in over and over again until you get it close. In the meantime, one guy should be forming up. The guy putting in the fill can do the compactor. This is a very important step. I always hear people saying, well, they didn't compact mine. Well, then they didn't do it right, because anybody can make the top of the concrete look clean. But it's actually the bottom of the concrete that's most important. This is a form liner backed up with a 2x6, and that's finished grade right there. You can see it looks like a stone texture. It's really sweet, and the slab's graded out at 4 inches. I'm sorry. You need to run a string across it and check it everywhere, because it's a very important thing. You don't want to have it too thick because you'll waste concrete, and it makes it weaker actually, even though it's thicker. So there it is, all 4 inches thick all the way across, and I have to just put in my form. But you have to remember, you have to leave room for the buggy to get through, so it can't fit through there, so you have to bring it through the other way. And here we are digging out the front, again with the backhoe, and the utilities were marked so we knew where they were. Dump it right into the wheelbarrow. She wanted to keep all the dirt, so we just wheeled it around back, use it for backfill. Just keep on digging it out. And you can see how precise you can dig it with that, and you can dig 3-foot walks, you can dig 4-foot walks, you can use your front to dig. It's just a very versatile machine. You can bring in your fill. You can put any skid steer attachment on the front. It's got hydraulics and everything. And we always try to make a straight cut on these asphalt surfaces. Bury your saw blade and then just pop it right out. As I said in my other videos, I always form up the outside first. Get a nice pretty shape to it. You have to drive some pins on the inside, and then you want to form up your inside. You're going to want a quarter bubble of fall, and what that means is your bubble is barely going to break the line like I show right here. That's perfect. Then you check it around, you swing it around like that and go all the way around, and make sure your forms are set to height. Then top it off with some more fill. These are 8s with a little bit of fines in it. We had the subgrade underneath of it with the road base, so you can use 8s as long as it's not too thick. And you obviously got to compact it too, and it compacts down really well. This was actually the second time that we had compacted it. It's pretty simple. It's the easier job, but it's so important. I can't stress that enough. Here we are, morning of the pour. So just showing everybody what we were pouring, the front walk and front porch all in one. And that's about 1.5 to 2 yards. I'd say 2 yards. And with the straight cut on both of them. Here's our crew. We got Anthony, a 12-year finisher. My dad, he's been in concrete business 35 years. Me and master finisher Justin, he's kind of being a finisher and a laborer. You see our ramp. We're going to be driving the Georgia Buggy, and it had been raining, so we had our ramp system set up and got it to where we basically just had to put one form in. Everything's staked off with plenty of stakes. Got my chalk line expansion. The truck's actually bringing the expansion, so we put that in, and we put some dry mud around it. I have all my pouring tools set up. My bull float come along, a couple of hand floats. Got the Sawzall to vibrate the edges, so I don't have any air bubbles in the sides. I always have a vibra strike just in case. We didn't use it on this one. Here's concrete, IMI. We use them a lot. I like their mud the best. Here's our Georgia Buggy, and here's the mud. It's about a 5 slump right there. Maybe a 5 slump. It's either that or 4.5. But what do I know? Anyways, so we fill it up, and here they're just back there putting the expansion up. He had a quick question. And here's the mud. This was a rookie driver, so I don't know what to say about that, but she did all right. She filled it up, and you can see when we get this mud back to the back, you can put about half a yard in one of those if you fill it up. But it seemed like it was taking forever to wheel back there, but it almost changed a whole slump in the buggy while it was taking to get back there. So we pour it out a little bit away from the expansion so it doesn't get on that, and then we can hold the expansion at the chalk line and shovel up some mud up against it. You can see that really dried up. And here's Anthony floating off the edges. That's the first thing you want to do, is float that to your chalk line. As you can see, it needs to be done there. And it might be a little bit high, so it's very important to get it flat, though, because that's what you're going to be running your board off of. So see him pushing it away and then puddling it. Here we are striking it off. See the Sawzall sitting there to vibrate the edges. We have to give and take a little bit on that board, but if you're experienced, that's no big deal. It's all bull floated off except for our last little bit. When you get it closed up, you're all right. But this was a 6 bag with 1% high early, so it started to take off. While they were pouring the front, I had to stay around here and finish the back. It was about 8 yards, and here's our finished fish scale swirl broom finish with stamp borders. Here's the front, all just broomed, shined edges, and straight joints, no shine on the joint. When I say shine, I mean ribbon put back, and here I am cleaning up the siding, the splatters. Morning, we stripped it 2 days later because it was the weekend, and it looked pretty good. I was really impressed with these edge liners. I think it looks really good and uniform. You don't even use an edger on them. You just cut that one joint and then just float right to the edge liner, and there's no edger involved. So we have to saw cut the joints. If you see, this is a soft cut saw. It cuts perfect too, as long as you keep those 2 dots right on the line and the chalk line as a guide. And since I own the saw, we like to use it all the time. And while we're doing that, Justin was around putting soil back up against the backfill, up against the concrete. I always tell my customers, all you'll have to do is plant some seed or put down some mulch, and they love to hear that. And here it is done. You just got to sweep it off, and that looks so much better. He started it right there, but I still have to power wash this and then seal the borders. Here I am. I'd already sealed the inside the day we poured it, but I wanted to use a high gloss sealer on this, so there they are, just shining. They look beautiful. It looks like a limestone granite marble. I don't know what you want to call it, but it looks natural and it looks really sweet. It almost looks like a prefab piece of concrete or something. So we had to clean it one more time because when we came back to pick up our stuff, there was a little bit of dirt on it, and she had already got her furniture on it. She loved it. You can see that right there. We got the white rock there. It looks so pretty. She got the front set up with the mulch, the yellow flowers, the green plants, and the yellow pillows, blue chairs. It's contrasting color, but it looks really good with the new mulch. That's Grubb-Mudd Concrete right there. Top of the line. And here's one last picture of the back. It still needs a little landscaping done to it, but we got some chairs set up and a fire pit built back, white rocks. That's finished product. We really appreciate you watching Grubb-Mudd Concrete. Thanks. If you like this video, will you please like and subscribe? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.